2003. Oh,
Go ahead, JF. I just started recording.
okay, perfect. So basically, we wanted to do something unique that nobody does. So basically, we develop a lot of guide training courses, the curriculum, the exam, and for many years, SKILS has been the biggest guide training providers in the world. Every year, we train at least 200 new Siska guides, plus we do ongoing training for many guides. And this year, we have been, in 2022, have been providing guide training courses in other countries and other continents. And also one thing, some innovations we have done, the low impact activity guidelines was developed by SKILS, and also now BC Marine Trail did a very nice update to it, upgrade, I will say. So these, what you can see, it's what we do that is very unique. And also like kayak fishing programs as well. I've been doing that since 2022. Sorry, 2012, and these programs are very popular. And also among our staff, we have lots of strong women. I will say at least a third of our staff are women. Some are not active right now because they're having babies, but some are very active, and many of them with a few decades of experience, which is great. I have a question from Jenny Sutton. We started initially on the company. Are they still involved? I love that question. Originally, SKILS was founded by Michael Party, Andrew Woodford, and Piper Iris, and I had my own business aside. And the following year, in 2004, my business, Pacific Rim Informative Adventures and SKILS, merger together. So after year one, we made a merger. And then in 2013, I became the sole owner of SKILS, but my former business partners, they're still involved with SKILS. Michael still teach for SKILS, Andrew do some teaching for SKILS, and work for some special project. Piper Harris, some of you might have done courses with him. Now he works for the Coast Guard. So the business has been going for 21 years, and most of the original owners still work as staff. Right now, legally, I'm the sole shareholder of the business. Thank you, Jenny Sutton, for the question. So we have lots of strong, very experienced women that work for SKILS, and for us, it's very important. We do feel the best program that are balanced, and often to have a male and a female instructor will provide the participants the best experience. And some people can relate better to women, some people can relate better to men. So for us to have that diversity and that inclusion is very important. One thing we love to do are the advanced expeditions for intermediate to advanced paddlers. This is our niche market. Most of the businesses that are doing tours, they focus on beginners. We don't. And that was made us very unique. And we do many expeditions around the world. For example, going in Antarctica in South Georgia, something we love to do. We have a ratio of 5 participants for 2 guides when we go over there. And yeah, so everybody are quite advanced, like Pelican level 2, 3, 4, so something quite advanced. Also, we do Patagonia Fjords. We are doing 2 in March. There are 13-day trips. And we go in remote places in Patagonia where nobody goes. Yeah, to go there, you need a mothership, and we have a mothership, so it allows us to go in amazing places. The last trip we've done, we saw in 13 days, 3 ships from a long distance, 3 ships in 13 days. It's quite amazing to do that. Or expedition in Antarctica and South Georgia between 26 to 30 days long with mothership as well. And sometimes we do some camping. Sometimes we camp on the boat. It depends how people feel. And we love Patagonia. And in the next few years, we'll be running Patagonia trips, likely also in other areas of Patagonia where we haven't been. By the way, on that photo, it's very special. This glacier is currently advancing. So that glacier is taking over the forest. You see the forest a little bit on your right-hand side of the screen. So basically the glacier is quite gray, is destroying the forest when it's advancing. This is near Canal Beagle, and there's a few glaciers that are advancing. Most glaciers around the world, as we know, with global warming are retreating, but this is one example of a glacier that is advancing. In fact, Justine went there 14 years ago before that photo was taken, and she compared both photos, and you can see a big difference how that glacier was advancing. So it's absolutely spectacular there. Anybody has more questions at this point? Good. And Alan, can you hear me well?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. And if you want to ask JF a question, put it in the chat or just unmute yourself and go right ahead.
Excellent. And also, when I said previously that third of our staff, at least a third of our staff are women, we have at SKILS 22 staff working for us. And we try to hire the best of the best in the country. And other advanced expeditions we do is the Great Bear Rainforest. The next trip is June 15, starting on June 15. It's a 19-day trip. And we go from Bella Bella to Port Hardy via Goose Island, and so much wildlife. One day on Goose Island, our group was with a wolf pack for half a day. And that photo was taken there. On that photo is 4 wolves. If you can see well on the left, there's 2 more in the bush. That was the most amazing wolf sights I ever had in my life, spending half a day with a wolf pack. And we stay away from them. That was taken with a long lens, that photo. We don't go too close. We stay away. What mothership boat do you use for Patagonia and the Great Bear Rainforest? For the Great Bear Rainforest, we don't use a mothership. We use our own kayaks, and we do an ongoing expedition for 19 days. But for Patagonia, Antarctica, and South Georgia, we use a mothership. It's a 61-foot yacht, and it's a beautiful boat, and and we can travel quite fast with this. I don't have any photo handy of that ship, but you can Google this online. It's called this Spirit of Sydney. Spirit of Sydney.
Are you on a call?
Just a Zoom call, still watching the expedition group up at Ukulele. JF.
Say again, for me. I heard Russian expedition. Can you hear me, Alan?
Al, Quan, is that you was asking the question there? Just go ahead and unmute yourself.
No, it wasn't me. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who it was then. Sorry.
No problem. I will keep going. And please, if you have any questions, write your question at a meeting in a chat box. I will be more than happy to answer you. And the Great Bear, what I love of that trip, so many whales, lots of wildlife. And Goose Island was one of the best places to see wolf in the wild. And the Great Bear Rainforest trip allows you to go in remote beaches that are absolutely stunning, where not many people are going. So it's a must-do trip. This is the only advanced expeditions where we have room left this year. I think we have 2 spots left. And the rest of our advanced expeditions are all fully booked. So it's a truly a bucket list experience, the Great Bear Run Forest. And we do lots of fishing on that trip as well, because 19 days, we do a resupply halfway, but we eat lots of fish on that trip. One time we caught a salmon that was over 30 pounds. And basically, we didn't waste any of the salmon. We ate the salmon for dinner, lunch, and breakfast. For a group of 10, we had a feast. And with the carcass, we boiled it to make a broth to cook rice with it. So lots of great memories, lots of great adventure. So this is a great trip. And our Spirit Bear quest. So as you probably know, the Kermode bear, it's a black bear with a recessive gene, so it looks like white, is the rarest bear on the planet. And we've done some Spirit Bear quest trips there with clients, commercial trips, and we've been very lucky. We did 3 commercial trips there, and each trip we saw 1 Spirit Bear. So we were extremely lucky. This year we did a trip there and we saw also a Spirit Bear. That was fantastic. So, or of course, seeing a Spirit Bear, it's fine, but also it's more just than a Spirit Bear. It's an amazing area to explore. The rainforest, the other bear, the whales, so many whales. One day, and in fact, that was during the scouting with Justine. In one day we saw 50 different humpback whales there. And we had also a group by Aristobal of 9 whales that were lunch feeding together. So on that trip, we see whales almost every day, and it's absolutely an amazing area. Not many kayakers go there, and it's the area north of Clem too. It's a must do as a paddler. So this is one of the trips we do, and we have a huge demand for that trip. And also we do more advanced expeditions. For example, going from Port Hardy to Cole Harbor. This is our Cape Scott Challenge. Going around Brooks Peninsula from San Josef Bay to Zibalos. And from Zibalos to Tofino or Euclid is another trip we have. So our goal at SKILS is to do expeditions for advanced paddlers from Euclid to Alaska and around Haida Gwaii. And most year we add more advanced expedition. And next year, we will very likely offer more advanced expeditions in Haida Gwaii. So West Coast and East Coast. So stay tuned for more information. But our goal is to share with advanced paddlers, local and from other countries, one of the best coastline, one of the nicest coastline in the world. And also for our staff, it's very exciting. It's a real adventure. We don't have to babysit numpties. It's an amazing thing to do. So I have a question. When is your next Cape Scott trip? The next one will be next year in 2024, likely around June or July. Thank you. Also, if people are interested, send us an email at info@skills. Oh, I would like to do that trip. So you go on a waiting list as well. When the trips become available, we can email you so you're aware about that. So you don't have to check our website all the time. Thank you for the question, Yelsi. And also one thing that makes us unique are our training manuals and books. And we're writing currently 3 new books. It doesn't go fast enough, but for us, quality comes first. So we like to develop resources that are being used across the country and elsewhere in the world. And we do programs across Canada. Last year, myself, I taught in 4 different provinces. And also my staff taught in more provinces, other countries. Even Justine went in Cayman Island to teach a guide training course. It's a nice gig to do. So we love what we do. It allows us to communicate with many people around the world, some of the best paddlers, some of the best places to go. This is a photo from the UK. We do current courses in Wales, in Anglesey. This year, we're not offering that program because we are too fully booked, but probably next year we'll be offering again that course. It's in Wales. It's 6 days in tidal races. It's amazing. Imagine surfing a wave for minutes. It's amazing. You can see the nice clean wave. There's a lot of them over there. It's very, very addictive. So something that makes us unique, we were the first outfitters in Canada to offer all the Paddle Canada courses, and we've been contributing a lot towards the curriculum throughout the development of the program. I'm going to skip a few things. Kayak fishing is very popular. It's way too much fun. And also something that makes us unique are our advanced courses. For example, our Skookumchuck courses. And this year we have an intro to Skookumchuck and also an advanced Skookumchuck. And intro to Skook, for example, is suitable for people that are level 2 skills paddlers with Paddle Canada and have a decent rules in dynamic water. It's very addictive, and Skook can be quite frightening, I do understand, but we want people to be set up for success. So we send them in conditions that are suitable for them. It's also challenged by choice. If people feel the wave is a bit too big for them, they just stay aside and they wait the wave to go down a little bit. So it's probably kayak fishing and Skookumchuck courses are probably my two favorite courses we have. It's way too much fun. And also we have developed online courses about weather, sea state, navigation, and most of our courses are front-loaded online before we meet you face-to-face. So our course is not much blah, 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 but mostly of hands-on stuff where we do apply the theory. So we try to front-load you the theory as much as possible before. And when we meet you in person, it's all practical. Okay. Any question, folks? Oh, Edgar. Okay.
If you stop sharing, we'll see a bigger picture of you.
Okay.
You can stop sharing your screen.
Perfect. So, I lost the. So Edgar was asking in remote area, where do you get your forecast? Well, a few things. I do carry with me a sat phone, and basically the SKILS office staff will be sending us the weather on a daily basis for the current day and the extended forecast. We use Environment Canada and windy.com. This is one tool. Also have a VHF radio with a 6-foot antenna. So it's collapsible antenna, so I can have a longer reach on my VHF. For example, some of you might have gone in places, deep valleys, where you cannot get signal, or on the west coast of Haida Gwaii, but with that extended antenna that is 6 feet long, you have a much better reach. By the way, these long antennas, they are fantastic, and it's only $22 on Amazon. So, Alan, can you hear me?
I can hear you. We're still seeing your screen. If you can, I don't know, go in and stop the share, you probably get a bigger picture of everybody. There we go.
Oh, sorry. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
That's good.
Okay, from Beth, how many days and where are your kayak fishing courses? Well, it depends. Most of our courses at SKILS, 75% of our courses, kayak fishing and non-kayak fishing, or custom and private. Sometimes people, they just want to go for a kayak fishing day trip. So we ask them what they would like to do, what are their goals and expectations, so we can tailor to them. Some people, I want to try salmon. Some people, I want to try rockfish and lingcod. So we customize. But our courses, they go normally from 2 days to 5 days. We have, for example, in Victoria, we focus on bass and trout on Texas Lake. It's 2 days. And some programs, we are in Kayak Sound. It's a partnership with West Coast Expeditions. It's 5 days kayak fishing. We have freezers with us on our base camp at West Coast Expeditions. We focus on most on salmon, but also rockfish and lingcod. And also next year we'll be doing a program kayak fishing at Langara Island. So I cannot wait to go there. It's anyway. Last time I went there, the salmon were jumping left and right. It was almost a safety hazard. So yeah. So it depends. You can on the website of SKILS, you can go and you can check. We have kayak fishing sections with all the programs we have, and also we even have extreme kayak fishing. We go 10 miles offshore, Ucluelet, on the big banks, and we fish from there. And there's a Zodiac standing by just in case of an emergency. This is the most fancy kayak fishing program we have, but most of the stuff, it's custom and private.
Cool, thank you.
You're welcome. Any follow-up question, Beth?
No, that's okay. I'm just figuring out Ian's birthday present.
Okay, awesome. Where is the best salmon fishing around Vancouver Island, and what lure do you use? Mark. Hey, this is a long question. I will try to be succinct on that. Well, it depends of many things. It depends of the season as well. For example, and in September, the salmon are coming closer to the river. They congregate in large number, and your chance to get one are quite good if you go near the river. I know around Ucluelet some very good spots. Sometimes it's it, sometimes it doesn't bite. I have some spots where I'm guiding that is amazing. Yesterday, I told Alan one of my favorite spots near on Aristobal Island, and over there it's absolutely insane. And also salmon, some year will be good around, some years the numbers will be low. Last year, for example, for sockeye, it was amazing, but next year we don't know what will happen. Local knowledge is very important for that, and salmon is very hard to predict. Some years it's absolutely insane, some are not as good. And the lure I will be using when I'm going touring, there's my favorite one. If I had to only take one lure in my tackle box, it's called a Shimano butterfly. Shimano butterfly, you can Google that. With that lure, you can cast, you can troll, and you can jig. And it has a special action. When that lure goes down, it goes down like this, like a butterfly. And often when it goes down, it will trigger the attack by the salmon. And when you go on a trip, on a long expedition, like many of you, you cannot carry 14 different lures. And the Shimano butterfly is way better than a buzz bomb. And so you can do everything with it. I carry different types of color, but usually it's my favorite lure that is also very versatile. Shimano butterfly. If you Google it, you will see, wow, it's expensive, $20, $25 for one lure, but it's working. And what I don't like of the buzz bomb, like many of you are using, when you jig with the buzz bomb up and down, the edges of the lure are quite sharp. And with time, it will make your fishing line quite brittle. And if you have a strike, often the line will break because the buzz bomb has made the line quite brittle because of the back and forth motion of their rough edges along the line. I can talk about fishing for hours. Yeah. Do you use a net or a gaff when fishing? I will start with a story first. I was with Justine. We were paddling from Prince Rupert to Kwasimatine Bear Sanctuary to the Alaska border and back, and then down to Bella Bella. And we carried 1 month worth of food with us. And let's be minimalist. Let's cut in our gear. Let's not bring a net. Let's not bring a gaff. We just catch, small fish so we can feed, 2 rockfish or a small pink salmon, not too much. Big, big mistake. One time we were close to the Alaska border and we stopped for jigging. We had some friends in Lac Swalam. It's a First Nation reservations just before the Alaska, probably the most northern settlement in BC. And we're being invited to a party there, to the First Nation reservation. So let's bring some fish to contribute to the party. And basically, we stopped jigging in the work channel. I was with Justine. And in probably 20 minutes, we caught 5 massive lingcod. And the smallest one was probably 4 feet long. We could not bring them in the kayak because they were so massive. They were fish over 40 pounds. And there's no way we could bring them in our kayak. Consequently, they broke many times our fishing line. They also broke 1 fishing rod. We lost many lures. And the bite was insane. They were all monster lingcod. We could not bring them in a kayak. We had no fishing net and no gaff because we were minimalist. Big, big mistake. And on that trip, we lost lots of salmon because we didn't carry a gaff or a fishing net. I learned my lesson. I always carry one now. Even if I'm minimalist, although we almost ran out of fishing lure. We had to buy fishing lure at the Indian Reserve because we were getting low and it was just the beginning of the trip, the first week. So please always carry a fishing net or a gaff. This year we on our Brooks Challenge, one of the clients caught halibut. It was so massive it could not fit in the net. So we had to tow that person that was fighting the halibut back to the beach. And at one point the line snapped. It was absolutely unreal. It's what I would have done with hindsight 2020, the halibut could not fit in the net, is taking my tow line and wrapping it around the mouth through the gills. There's some risk involved, but please carry a net and a gaff. Next question from Edgar. On kayak courses, do you supply the equipment for participants? Yes, we can do that. We can provide the equipment. We can rent kayaks. We can rent everything, tent, sleeping pad, tent, helmet, name it. Many of our clients are coming from across the country or Europe, so we can equip them. So there's no problem for that. Our kayak rental fleet, we only rent to our students, is very diverse. We have NDK kayaks, lots of Sterling kayaks, Valley kayaks, P&H, Seaward, name it. For our courses. Oh, yes. So for our courses, we can rent equipment. First, we have a fleet of sit on top for fishing, but also we have lots of great equipment to customize your touring kayak so you can fish from. We have some platforms where we can put a rod holder on your kayak. We have all the bells and whistles to customize your kayak, or we can rent you the equipment. On our kayak fishing courses, we do acknowledge that some people have very little fishing experience, so we do help them to customize things. We provide everything, yes. No extra fees. Edgar, do you have any follow-up question?
No, that's good. I don't have any fishing experience, so if I did one of your fishing courses, I just wondered if I need to bring anything or if it's all supplied.
That's correct. We'll supply this to you. Yep.
Okay, great.
Thank you. So from Jing 101, if you need to provide a kayak to people who take your rolling class, what kind of kayak would you give them to learn rolling fast and why? I love that question. Honestly, folks, I do feel the first thing to do on that rolling class is to customize your kayak, to make sure you have the right kayak that fits you really well. Failure to have a kayak that is not properly adjusted to your fit, you won't be able to roll to the best of your capability. And also, some people might be injured because if your hips in a kayak are too loose, you'll be using more of your arms, and that can create more stress on your arms. So the first thing I like to do with my students on a rolling course, I have some Etafoam with some glue, and then I customize their kayak for them. If you don't have the right kayak, I have some kayaks with some padding inside I can adjust. So honestly, having the right kayak when you want to roll is so important. So you can perform to the best you can and to avoid injuries. Jing, do you have any follow-up question?
Yeah, Jeff, if you have to provide a kayak, to the students who take your class, what kind of kayak you would provide, to them?
Yeah, for a rolling class, first I will start with your height and weight, and I will make sure you have a kayak that is snug for rolling, and that rolls quite nicely. For example, we'll probably provide you a illusion or a grand illusion, or maybe a progression or a pilgrim expedition or a dolphin. Depends on your height and weight. We won't provide you a big barge for sure.
Thanks.
Is it okay, Jing?
Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
You're welcome. So from Barry, for Haida Gwaii trips, do you supply kayaks and equipment? Yes. For all our, almost all our programs, we can provide you equipment. For example, when we plan next year to go to Haida Gwaii, we'll bring up with us a trailer and a kayak. So you don't have to do the drive to Haida Gwaii. We'll bring the kayaks from Vancouver Island to Haida Gwaii. You just fly and we can go. We'll be leaving from Queen Charlotte City. And also, if we want, we can even leave from the airport in St. Spit. The water is right beside. So Barry, any follow-up question?
No, that's great. Thanks, JF.
And now Al. Oh, Al came on our kayak fishing programs before. Highly recommend the kayak fishing. Yes, so excellent. Yeah, Al did at least 2 kayak fishing programs and did some fishing on some guided trips with us. I will tell you a story that happened to Al and I. So on one kayak fishing program in Kayak Sound, one client, in the excitement, this is a true story, and Al is my witness. One of our clients lost a fishing rod at the bottom of the sea with all the excitement of catching fish. And I always carry with me backup rods. So our fishing rod and reel were on the bottom of the sea, and we tried to retrieve it. So she was jigging for fish. At the same time, she tried to hook her fishing rod at the bottom of the sea. You couldn't see the fishing rod, it was very deep. And then she caught some fish, some rockfish. But at one point, she had a big bite. And she was reeling her fishing rod from the bottom of the sea. And on the fishing rod, she had at the bottom of the sea, it had a rockfish on it. So, true story. So, Al is the witness. So, yeah, I have so many fishing stories. And for my kayak, it's so exciting. It's insane. Catching a large fish from my motor boat, it's awesome. But for my kayak, it's even more fun. The salmon will bring you a nice wild ride at 2 knots, and it's exciting. Okay, Al, anything you want to add on that story?
No, other than wanted to go back again, so.
Next year, we'll likely do a course on the Spring Island, likely. Yeah. This year, all our kayak fishing programs are full, but we could maybe run more privately in September and October.
Okay. I'm sure Jean's there as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know what? Yes. Oh, yeah. She's still doing lots of kayak fishing, Jean. And Yeah, but she never stopped.
Yeah. No, but well worth it though.
Thank you. Folks, any more questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
Sorry, I don't have my camera on. It's Dan. Oh yeah, I was just wondering how you manage to keep from capsizing when you get a big fish on. Aren't you kind of likely to go over when you're playing it off the side of your boat and trying to land a fish?
Absolutely, it can happen. So I would like to give you some tips to avoid that. First, adjust the drag on your reel. Adjust the drag. So basically, the goal is not to bring the fish as fast as possible in your kayak, but to play the fish. If the drag is too tight and the fishing rod is on the side of your boat, it's not good. But if you keep your rod in front of you with the drag well adjusted, then it's going to be fine. And it's good practice to ask a friend to come to stabilize you, to raft up with you. So that's important, to be more stable. Ask a friend. And then if your friend is a good friend and keeps you very tight, you'll be fine. You won't be capsizing.
So you're filled up this year? No more?
All our kayak fishing programs that are on our website are full, but we do lots of fishing on our long expeditions, but also can do custom and private day trip. In September and October, we have some room. It's a very good time for salmon. They're coming closer to the rivers. So we can do some custom and private trip. It's more cost efficient if you have friends coming with you, up to 3 people. The ratio for kayak fishing for salmon, it's 1 instructor for 3 participants, because there's lots of things going on. If we have a double or even a triple headers, it's just nuts. So this is why we keep the groups small, just fishing gear involved. So it's about risk management.
Sounds like fun.
Way too much fun.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Welcome.
JF, can I prevail upon you to tell that story about you catching a fish off Aristizabal with your guest, your client as well?
Absolutely. Oh, I have lots. But Al was thinking about someone called Jean. Jean is a client that came on so many programs with us, and she's very hardcore fisherwoman, very hardcore. So we were leaving Aristizabal Island, and some fish were jumping. So I just put my lure it's on the Spirit Bear Quest. It's a 20-day trip. No resupply. We are self-sufficient. We harvest lots of berries, eat plants, lots of amazing gourmet food. Also, we harvest lots of food. And we leave the beach. I just put my Shimano butterfly in the water, and right away I had a strike. So I caught a sockeye salmon. That's great. And my friend Jean on the trip, oh my God, I want to catch a fish too. So she put her lure in the water and a sockeye bite right away. So I go to help her stabilize her kayak, and then I net her fish. And my fishing rod was in my PFD, and the lure was above the water and a few inches above the water. And then a salmon jumped out of the water to grab my lure was when I was netting the salmon of my friend Jean. So in one hand, I had my 2 hands were holding the fishing net, and then one hand has to move to my fishing rod so I don't capsize. Then I was fighting the fish with one hand and grabbing the fishing net with the other one. And the salmon brought me on a wild ride until a client came to my rescue to keep me stable. So that was a wild story. So in a few minutes, we caught 3 very large sockeye. We stopped fishing because we don't want to waste any food. But some places are absolutely magical. This is that spot on Aristizabal. I heard stuff about it. It's like a legend. It's absolutely amazing for fishing. There's not many people there. There's no fishing pressure, and there's lots of upwelling, lots of feed there. So it's a given. I have a few spots like that along the BC coast where nobody goes. I keep it quite secret, and it's just insanely good.
Okay, I don't see any other question. You may have exhausted our appetite for fishing stories for the moment, JF, but any other questions at all? Let me just put that out before we finish up tonight.
Yeah, JF, it's Edgar again. I just got one last question on weather.
Yeah.
When you're running a trip, and I think it's a multiple part question, do you monitor the weather systems coming across the Pacific to see what's coming a week or two ahead? And have you ever seen one coming and significantly changed your plans because of, you might see something in 5 or 6 or 7 days' time?
Absolutely. The weather is the boss out there. So we always adapt our plans based on the weather. Yes, absolutely. We always adapt and plan accordingly based on that. We have to change our plan. In Antarctica, we have to change our plans big time. The weather changed rapidly all the time there. But in BC, we mostly do our season during the most stable weather, mid-June to late August. So the changes are quite small. Yeah.
Yeah, is there a better time to do, say, Cape Scott or the west coast of Vancouver Island as opposed to going further north?
I really like June and July for Cape Scott. Why? Lots of daylight. We can have early start and we can paddle later during the day if we want to. And in mid-June and after mid-June, the weather system are quite stable. So the likelihood you'll have suitable swells and wind, it's much better. Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And also, if people are a bit curious about fishing or long expedition, we often do fishing with the clients that are interested, so they can have a little appetite about fishing. And like the person that caught that massive halibut over 40 pounds, never fished before. I was the first fish that person hooked in his life. So yeah, and that person came back for the Spirit Bear as well last year and caught his first salmon. So that person was so happy. So it's priceless to see that. Oh, I have one question. Where can I order JF's books? You can go on the SKILS website and we can deliver that to you, Rhonda. Yeah.
Okay, I think we may have taken care of all the questions. Again, I'll just ask one more time. No? Okay. So JF, thank you so much for taking the time for us tonight. And you are a good storyteller, my friend, and you have some good stories to tell. I think they seem to revolve around fishing quite a bit, but that's great. I think you might have inspired a few people about fishing tonight. That's super. Anyway, thanks so much. We really appreciate it. And by the way, I didn't mention, but you'll notice on our website, and I'd sent out earlier, SKILS is offering a discount of 15% if 3 or more people from our club book with them. But they have all of these courses that are available. Well, maybe some not so available this year, or you can book, try to set up a custom course as well. So SKILS, one of our best providers here on the coast. Great to have you with us tonight, JF. Thanks so much.
Thank you for having me, folks. See you on the water.
Good night.
Au revoir. Merci.
Yeah. Bienvenue.
Good night, Jeff. Thank you.
Night.
Night.